What's up, CyberLux Army, CyberLux family, and moneymakers? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to talk about one of our favorite stock, ticker symbol CYBL, OTC traded stock. I have some juicy, very juicy, important and interesting information to share with you. CyberLux has announced their Q3 earning report, which is in front of you on your screen right now that I'm sharing. Business update, the CYBL. We just published our Q3 2021 report, and here are the highlights. I went ahead and looked into their website. I'm not able to see into their IR deck section or the news section just yet. So we will review the highlights for the moment. I'll share further more in detail where the company is spending and how it is spending. In this particular video, I'll be comparing the current results or Q3 results with the previous quarter. We'll also talk about how the company wants to become a $100 million revenue company and what it means for you if you own CYBL. If you're trying to get into CYBL, you really want to get this information first so you can make informed financial decision. Remember, I'm not any expert nor I'm a certified professional. I'm just an average investor like you, but I do a ton of research, analysis, and review, and I like to share and give back to the community. So do your part, click the like button. If you click the like button, this video can be reached to more and more people. We can create a ton of more awareness in CYBL stock in community. Remember, word of mouth is pretty strong way to expand your thoughts and ideas. Click the like button, subscribe to my channel, doesn't cost you anything. If you're feeling extra happy, you can join the Patreon. It's about $4.99 a month, and we talk a ton about penny stock, OTC stocks. I've been talking about many recent Q3 earnings, including HCMC, ILUS, so on and so forth. So go check on my channel as well. Now, without further delay, let's talk about what CYBL is talking about right here. The Q3 earning report, 613% increase in Q3 versus the Q2 revenue. And this is precisely what I'm talking about when I talk about ILUS or CYBL. The way the company is growing is immensely impressive. Take a look. Their revenue is $2.25 million versus the $367,000 that the company had in previous quarter in Q2. They are beating 50% Q3 beat over the June Q3 estimate. So the company is doing a way better than their own estimate, which is impressive as well. $2.25 million in revenue versus $1.5 million that they have estimated. Their net income is in Q3 is $155,000, which is once again a 225% whooping growth in terms of the net income, and which is precisely what I was looking for. What is the net income? Because that gives you a pretty good understanding and idea of how much company can make when they have $2.25 million in revenue. Now we need to find out and we need to look into more itemized expenses that the company has, which we don't have at the moment because I do not have the report. But if you take a look at the year-to-date net income is more than $500,000. It's $543,000, which is 289%, so which is almost 3x year over year. And this is what I'm talking about. As company grows more in terms of the revenue, they can scale their income. They will have more and more income, net income to show on their balance sheet, which means the company becomes stronger as well because they'll have more and more cash on hand from the profitability itself, and there is less need for additional money from outsiders or from stock dilution, so on and so forth. We know that there is no reverse stock policy for CYBL, but I just wanted to point this out. Now, what it means in terms of where CYBL is going. But before that, before I go there, I just wanted to share this information with you. What is coming up for next week, for this week actually, for CYBL. So the Q3 report published after the final and full executive review. We have seen the highlights already. Wednesday and Thursday, the field work as noted last week that is going on. One of the important thing that you want to remember is Q&A video that is coming up Thursday night or Friday morning. So if you have any questions, you can always submit that on their Twitter handle, or you can use the link that they have on their website. There's an updated status on the next acquisition. This is what I'm something looking forward. I'm eager to see and find out what this next acquisition can bring to us as the stockholder, because remember, they want to skyrocket in terms of the revenue. They have the Department of Defense going on. There is a corporational the expansion going on. They're expanding into South America, and they want to get into the European market a lot more than today that they have at the moment. There is to be decided updates on the roadmap as well. The company wants to become $100 million revenue company. Now you're going to ask how it can happen. So the way they want to do it is they want to expand their growth within across the government agencies. We talked about Department of Defense and the relationships that they have. They want to expand vertically in each of this horizontal expansion, the agencies that they have. They want to do acquisitions and joint ventures to accelerate their revenue and their growth, and we are witnessing how fast they're going. They're driving the growth in North and South America as well as in European market. And this is when you see these types of numbers where they have 600% revenue increase, where they have net income jumping up about the $500,000. Once again, this is an OTC traded stock. I've been talking about this. This is the TANX stock. If someone bought it for 1 or 2 cents, you can easily expect that if things go according to what the company has planned, if the revenue goes through the roof about $100 million, we can see the price action as well, 10x, 20x, something along those lines. Now the $1 million question is where the company is going to get this revenue from. So here is the estimate. We have seen that the company's revenue expectations was 2.297. So let's compare this number. So they're pretty close, 2.25, which is their revenue. So they're working according to their plan at the moment. So 2.297, which is their Q3 expected revenue. And this is the actual revenue at the moment as well. In Q4, they're expecting $2.9 million in revenue. So close to 3 million, which is a quite significant jump from 2.2. In 2021, the total revenue the company is expecting is 5.2 million, which they may exceed about their expectations. So for the financial year 2021, we're expecting 5.2 million. Now here is something that you want to keep an eye out. In 2022, the company is expecting $30.4 million in revenue, which is 5 to 6 times jump just in terms of revenue. Now what can happen in terms of their profitability? If they run with the same numbers, same margins, we are looking at about 2 to 2.5 million or maybe close to $3 million in net income for the company. Now remember, right now, this year, they do not even have $3 million in revenue just in a quarter that the company is targeting in net profit next year. In 2023, $78 million in revenue, and they have divisions across all their company and sub-regions or sub-products, sub-units within the company. Their US solution, lighting solution, technology solution, and SaaS, which is SaaS infrastructure software solution. And the company is targeting in 2024 about $100 million in revenue. Rather, it's $134 million in revenue, and by 2025, so this is a 5-year horizon that the company is targeting about $200 million in revenue. Now, if they do 50% than what they're targeting, that is still going to be massive, and which is what I'm trying to talk about. This market size is not really super relevant in my opinion, because you can think about there are trillions of dollars of market. That does not necessarily mean that you will be making billions of dollars in revenue. So what I want to focus on is what the company has forecasted for their business unit, and why I believe is because they have now divided into each of the segment as to how the company wants to bring in revenue, and they have the clear guideline, crystal clear path forward, and that can set them up for success that I wanted to share with you. Their operational alpha that is in 2021, they have set up a strong base, and what that means is they want to drive the growth through the aggressive business development. As you can imagine, they want to do more and more acquisitions. They want to do more joint ventures, which sounds very similar to what ILUS International does, but this is a strongly different fundamental. This is a lighting company. They have the tie-up with they have innovation, and they have collaboration and tie-ups with Department of Defense and many agencies within the government, which guarantees them for revenue as long as the products are up to the mark that the government agencies want. Now they want to also address the core target markets, and this is what I'm talking about. This Department of Defense product, new specialty technology capabilities as well, solar and renewables. If you know that there is an infrastructure bill of 1 trillion, something along those lines has been passed within last few days. and they also want to have with the emerging infrastructure projects within the DoD products as well. And the third and the last thing the company wants to do is to gain the immediate business velocity, which will help them grow the revenue, skyrocket the revenue that we have been talking about within, and they're building organization, new businesses, new product pipeline, accelerating their growth in South American projects and driving through the IP development. And this is what I precisely wanted to share with you, that they started with the OTC pink current, remember, which is when many of us bought, including myself. We bought this. I am riding it for free for the most part. I still have some stock and put money out of my pocket as well, but build the organization in Q3. They want to fuel the contracts pipeline in Q3, Q4 that we have witnessed. We have witnessed how fast they're going. Acquisition priorities are in Q3, Q4, and in Q3, Q4 they also have the production, product introduction, South American pipeline, and strategic IP that is coming up in the last quarter of this year. Now, if you think about how CYBL is doing, take a look right here. Right now, we're at 420, which is about 2% plus than what we saw yesterday. The volume is not there. I would call this volume deficiency, and we have been seeing that for many penny stocks, OTC stocks. Remember, these are OTC stocks. Not many investors can buy if their brokerage account does not support. So the volume is 12 million. In the past, we have seen pretty high volume for this stock, and take a look. The average volume is 127 million that we saw in the past. If you take a look right here, our volume today is close to 6 to 7 million. Yesterday's volume was pretty good, 46 million, before that 41 million, but it is far below the average mark of 127 million average volume. So if in other words, if we see higher volume, take a look right here, the higher volume, the stock went from 372 to 440 almost. So volume deficiency is something causing the stock not to spike up. Whenever we see the volume, in my honest opinion, the stock should skyrocket. We are seeing, I foresee that this stock can hit once again all-time high very soon, because remember, in the past we had seen from 1 cent right here, or 2 cents rather. I have been following this stock, I have been sharing these videos, and I know that you love these videos because the numbers and the analytics, I take a look, from 2 cents, we went all the way up to 6.5 cents. And this is when you decide for yourself some of the partial exit strategy to ride for free, which is precisely what I have done so far, and which is once again a pretty good game to play to make money in stock, because you make money in stocks when you click the sell button. Take a look right here, this chart. The chart shows, this green line shows the MAC or the moving average right here. This is for 50 days. As you can see, the moving average is in a very positive direction most of the time. If you take a look right here, the stock price right now is above the moving average, which is something I love to see. For that low, if you still haven't clicked the like button, hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. But take a look right here, it's about, the stock price is about the moving average. Once again, a pretty bullish sign in my opinion. If you take a look at RSI, it's 51, not an overbought, not an oversold condition. This is something I love to see with moving average. When the moving average is going up, when the stock price is above moving average, when your RSI is below or around 50 points that you see right here, there is pretty bullish momentum that you can think about a stock charting. Now, if you take a look at MACD, doesn't really show that promising, but that's okay. If you see right here, the red is above this orange line, which means the MACD is doing pretty well at period of time, not all the time. Once again, MACD may or may not be relevant sometimes because of the volume, because of the spike in the price. If you think about this spike price, right? So this spike right here, 650. If you take a look at 5-day, you should be able to see more. Right here, this is what I'm precisely talking about. This green line is way below the actual stock price, which means, you know what that means? It means that the moving average will go into the positive direction. That is something I love to see. And at that time, we see the MACD is above the orange line, which is once again a bullish sign. But the way it dropped. It dropped significantly. If you take a look right here, from this 423 level, it went all the way right here to 387. But we got a strong support around 388. Once again, 388, 399, and we are staying above the 4 cents range, which is pretty fascinating. I wanted to share with you. Now, if you want to take a look once again at the short volume ratio, we saw the higher short volume ratio yesterday, 62.44, when we had 46 million share volume, and the short volume was 28.9, and this is a high short volume. But I just wanted to assure you that this is not the favorite stock for short sellers, because we did not really see a high short volume. This was merely just happening yesterday. Before that, we saw 30s and 40s and 50s. We did not really see the high short volume. Yes, we saw that right here, but when the volume goes up, the short volume also goes up. Now, CYBL is doing a great job of funding themselves. They're expecting 30x to 50x return in company's growth in coming years as well. They have also confirmed the share level that they want to work and maintain the outstanding share level between 5.64 to 6 billion range for next 12 months. And this is something that I feel like a bit of a concern that I talked about in my previous video. Outstanding shares 5.6 billion, the float is 3.7 billion, pretty high float compared to the market cap of 224 million. I hope you like this video. I hope you like this update. Click the like button, subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next video. Happy investing in CYBL.